Hello, this is John Smallwood, Certified Financial Planner, Senior Wealth Advisor at Smallwood Wealth Investment Management. Today, we're going to continue the conversation on the Wealth Curve Blueprint and the Wealth Curve Scorecard. The Wealth Curve Blueprint, again, that snapshot of your current plan, income, savings rate, taxes, lifestyle, current assets, future liabilities, current liabilities, and defense, the life insurance, the disability, the long-term care, the wills and the trusts, the umbrellas, all this stuff that's so optimal to protecting your entire financial plan. The key is to understand what you have, is it optimal? And the scorecard, the Wealth Curve scorecard, really gives you that insight to whether or not the track that you're on is optimal. If your savings rate's not high enough, you could successfully accumulate enough money, but the odds are typically against you on that. So one of the things that we talk a lot about with our clients is that there's things that I want to do in the future. I want to make improvements to my house. I want to pay for my kids' college, which is separate thing that we talk about typically because it's usually separate, but it might be a wedding, it might be a bar mitzvah, a bat mitzvah, it may be a sweet 16, it might be a car for each child, it might be getting them set up in an apartment, it might be providing a down payment for a house or a condo or any combination of those things. And then there's a whole bunch of people that know that this might happen, but they haven't factored it into their plan. And I think, when we were talking in one of the previous episodes about that liquid savings balance, how much money do I technically have in liquid savings? These goals need to be factored into that. So that foundation is I've got to have that 50%. But if I have a 20-year-old child that's going to get married in 5 or 6 years, even though I'm still writing a check for the kid's college, what's the wedding going to be like? How am I going to approach this? And what's the impact going to be on my financial plan? And that's what I don't, sometimes we make decisions that are not necessarily going to benefit us in the future. We had this in our mindset that we had to get it done and we'll figure it out. But it's got to be an optimal decision, and we've got to have it planned. So one of the things that we have on the scorecard is all of those future liabilities that we said that we want to do, how well are they currently funded? How much money do we have that could be allocated to those goals? And then more importantly, what would the impact be on my plan? And that's what we want to figure out for you. So the future liabilities, if they're going to hurt the outcome of your retirement plan, then we might need to adjust those future liabilities. We might need to minimize some of them. We might need to say, hey, instead of paying for the full college, we can only pay for half. We can only allocate $40,000 to a wedding and or a down payment on a house. Your choice, pick it. There has to be some reality. Unfortunately, we don't have unlimited funds, right? Nobody in the world, not even the most wealthiest people in the world, have unlimited funds, right? Everybody has a budget and everybody's accumulating wealth, and every financial decision that we make is going to impact our retirement plan. And the retirement plan is not a singular conversation. It is a macro conversation because a wealth plan encompasses a retirement plan. Retirement is just one aspect of your wealth plan, but it's navigating through all of these opportunities and liabilities and goals and things that I want to do. And I think when we understand what those hurdles are, we can model those when they're going to come and what's the impact going to be on my future potential. And when you know that, then you can scale back and say, oh, we can either do more or potentially it's not going to work out for us. Or, I set a goal that I want to retire at 55. And, I got 10 years to that point, let's assume for a second. Well, in that goal, I've got, 3 kids that I need to educate. Am I putting away enough money now? Am I overfunding? Because I need to overfund if that's the case. Or I own my own business and, my father owned the business and my grandfather owned the business and his grandfather owned the business. I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? we're going to do this into our middle 70s, there's not as much pressure if all the other variables are right. But these future liabilities really need to be understood. And how much of them do you have funded? I mean, if you have 20% of them funded and they're coming soon, they're going to wreak havoc on your financial strategy. Knowing what they are, assessing them, accounting for them, and then making really good decisions as to how we're going to fund them and when we're going to fund them and how much we're going to fund them for is part of an overall plan. So getting your wealth curve scorecard and getting the wealth curve blueprint created as soon as possible and as frequently as possible is probably one of the most important foundational things that you can do in the plan. We look forward to helping you build your blueprint and reviewing your scorecard with you. Thank you. See you soon. Visit us at smallwoodassociates.com. Call us at 732-542-1565.
Welcome to the end of the video. Smallwood Wealth Management is an investment advisor representative. The opinions expressed by Smallwood Wealth Management and guests on this show are their own. All statements and opinions expressed are based upon information considered reliable, although it should not be relied upon as such. Any statements or opinions are subject to change without notice. Information presented for this educational purposes only. Moreover, no listener should assume that any discussions or information presented serves as a receipt of or substitute for personalized advice from Smallwood Wealth Management or from any other investment professional and is not intended as an offer of solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Smallwood Wealth Management is not a law firm or an accounting firm, and no portion of this presentation should be interpreted as legal, accounting, or tax advice. Information expressed does not take into account your specific situation or objectives and is not intended as a recommendations appropriate for any individual. Listeners are encouraged to seek advice from a qualified tax, legal, or investment advisor to determine whether any information presented may be suitable for their specific situation. Thank you for listening.